responsible, if you really want to get down to the nut cutting on helping save what turned out to be an awesome, awesome show last Saturday night. Let's bring on the warrior, and I mean warrior, UFC warrior, world warrior, raging Al Iaquinta. Hi, Al.
Hey, Bruce, how's everything, man?
It's good, buddy. It's so good to have you on the show. I hope you still don't have a headache after Saturday night because you really brought it, and you brought it big for 5 rounds, Al.
No, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. Just some swelling around the eyes, and my body is sore, which is to be expected. You know what I mean? Nothing,
Yeah,
no serious injuries, thank God. And just gonna take a couple days to relax, heal up, and I'm good as new.
fantastic. Great to hear. That's the fighter that I know you to be, Al. I definitely know that to be true. Now, thank you again. I said it in my intro to you, but I want to thank you, Al. I think a lot of people want to thank you because with all that took place last week, with Ferguson out, Holloway in, Holloway out, going to Felder, going to other people, you on the card from New York. Bottom line, you stepped in essence, to a large degree, saved a fantastic show, which turned out to be a fantastic show. With all that happened last week with the Conor McGregor melee, the assault, everything that took place back then, you were on that bus, Al. And it's interesting. You wound up fighting Khabib Nurmagomedov, but on that bus, the red corner bus, that fight was not made yet. You took this at the last minute. You were on that bus, and if I'm not mistaken, sitting a couple rows in front of Khabib. What was that like, Al? I don't want to go too far into it because I've already been quoted all over the press with my feelings about it, but I'd like to get your take on it and how you felt about it then and how you feel about it now. Would you mind discussing that?
Oh, not at all. I thought at first I really just thought we were under attack. I thought I was. I don't know. I'm not really like if shit goes down and you know if it was like a shooting or something like that, I I tried to like stay in like a laughing kind of spirit, where I wasn't gonna like freak out and whatever. So for a couple seconds there, I was kind of trying to I was like, wow, we're in some deep shit. I gotta figure this out right now. And then I saw Conor run across, and I was like, oh, this is just silly. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was definitely scary because everything happened on the other side of the bus, so I didn't see what was going on. I heard loud banging, and then something just came flying through the window. Everyone's yelling like, what's going on? Who are these guys? We're getting attacked by people. And then when I saw him, I realized it's still scary because I don't know, they throwing shit through windows, and there's a bunch of them. Who knows? But I mean, at the end of the day, we had a bunch of savages on that bus. So if it really did come down to it, I take our crew over their crew any day.
There you go, TJ. You heard it from Al. I was waiting for somebody to say that. It wasn't a gangster move, Al. Let's put it that way. That definitely was not a G move or a gangster move. I kind of enjoyed hearing Khabib's take getting off the bus. Hey, why not just call me? Well, in so many words, he said, let's just meet, no security, and
Yeah,
we'll take care of business, bottom line. So
yeah.
there's
Who I really feel bad for is I kind of Artem. I think I feel bad for that guy. I don't think he thought that was going to happen. I think Conor just made it all about himself. It was he just kind of, is that being a good friend? You got your friend pulled from the card, because I really doubt Artem said, no, this is what you got to do. You got to fly over here and let's throw shit through their bus and attack them. I think Conor saw that and he was like, ooh, opportunity for me to kind of steal the limelight and look like, whatever. So he took it into his own hands to, he kind of ruined. Artem was probably not going to, I wonder if that guy's going to fight anymore for the UFC at least. So I think he kind of ruined Artem there.
well, it all remains. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then he, innocent people that really had nothing to do. Really, Rose was the biggest for me. That was like I saw her all shooken up, and that was, I can see if it's like all the guy fighters, and we're all kind of in it to a certain extent. We're in this thing together. So if we kind of like if we're a casualty to him doing whatever he's doing, I can kind of whatever understand to a certain. But once you got there's people, there's the bus drivers on the bus, there's cornermen, there's, you know, the UFC people, film crew that they don't have anything to do with this shit, you know. So that's the kind of it was just careless. It was uncalled for, careless, selfish. You know, I thought Conor McGregor was so much better than this, man. He was like, he said all the right things coming up, you know, like he really has just changed. It's sad to see. Someone who I thought was the kind of guy that could deal with fame and money, but he obviously can't. It's pretty sad to see.
It is sad to see because I've always been a big supporter of Conor McGregor's. I've always liked Conor. Not been too happy about his antics at the Mayweather press conferences. I found them to be somewhat classless to a large extent. But still, I always supported Conor because he did nothing but break ground and did nothing but put the UFC brand and the MMA fighting world and its great fighters like you on the map. For you have the ability to make more money to go on. But for us to be seen in that kind of a light, it's not who we are. I speak for myself as I speak for you, Al. We're martial artists. We stand by an honor and a code, right? And that code, whether it's Bushido code or whether it's the code of class code, that has to be maintained. And it's very disappointing that happened. I'm sorry for what took place. Have been arrests have been made. Conor's going to have to deal with this. We were talking earlier in the show with our other guest, Jim Norton, about what could possibly happen, whether he can't come back to the United States, whatever. All this remains to be seen. Lawsuits are going to fly. And that's just my prediction. That's just the world in which we live. So let's just hope that the public watching realizes this is not an example of the great UFC brand, of the way they run their organization, or of the fine fighters such as yourself, Al, and the way you live. This is not the way we live. I have to say that.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. This is, you know, it just puts the whole company in a bad light. You know what I mean? And then for people to almost, there's even rumors that, oh, did they do this on purpose? You know, obviously they didn't, but just to be associated with something like that, it just doesn't look. It just looks amateurish and gimmicky, and you know, if that's what he was going for, it's just sad, you know.
Well, it's not the first time we've seen anybody of call it stardom, whether you're a businessman, a politician, an actor, a fighter, an athlete, an NBA star, whatever the case might be. It's not the first time we've seen people make mistakes when they're on top of the world. But it's really a shame that when you're on top of the world and you have the world in the palm of your hands, that you can't focus on using that for the good of people, to be a role model for people, to do the right thing, along with your great skills at fighting, which he has, and the great personality to promote, which he has. And now it's an assault on his own legacy. So he's actually assaulted himself when you really get down to it. So we'll see how it all pans out. And that's all I can say on this subject right now. Let me ask you another question, Al. I learned this week, I did not know this, and tell me this is correct. You work in real estate, is that correct?
I do. I work in real estate on Long Island, Nassau County, Long Island, sales agent. I been doing it for about a year and a half now, 2 years.
Cool. How's it going for you? Because I can actually see you doing pretty well at that. You know, you're a very personable guy. How's the real estate business in New York?
It's good. It's good. Right now it's a good time to be in real estate. It's a fast market. Houses are selling quick, and you know, people they find out that I fight and they kind of look into my career and they see what I'm all about, and it definitely helps. You know, I think people respect what I do and how I go about doing it. I'm pretty. I try to, you know, tell it how it is, and I think people respect that when they're trying to make one of the biggest purchases of their life. I don't beat around the bush, and you know, I think people. I have a pretty solid reputation on Long Island, and people seem eager to work with me. So it's definitely goes hand in hand, the fighting and the real estate. I train in the morning, and then I do the real estate kind of in the afternoons, and it's competition. I'm competing against these other agents.